so we can count 5 people.
We got them. I can see them all.
Okay.
All right. But I realized I couldn't ask for God's help, while at the same time I felt hatred for the mixed-up young man who had shot me. Isn't that the meaning of the lost sheep? We're all God's children and therefore equally loved by Him. I began to pray for his soul and that he would find his way back to the fold. That's a quote from Ronald Reagan's diaries shortly after his assassination attempt on his life. Ronald Reagan was not only a great president, but he was also a man of strong faith. In the next few moments, I would like to share briefly with you the life and legacy of President Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan's years before politics were the foundation of his leadership abilities. It began with a foundationally solid childhood. The website Wikipedia.org says that he was born in Tampico, Illinois in February 6, 1911 in an apartment above the local bank. With 2 loving parents, he developed his belief in the goodness of people at an early age, and that stemmed from heavy influence from his mother Nell and from his belief in Jesus Christ. Later on, as a teenager, Ronald Reagan worked as a lifeguard in Dixon, Illinois, where he said in a later interview that he saved 77 lives. After graduating high school, he attended Eureka College and developed even stronger leadership skills through his involvement in sports, student government, and drama. After graduating from college, Reagan worked as a radio announcer for various stations in and around Iowa until one day on a trip out west, he took a screen test in Hollywood that led to a contract with Warner Brothers Studios. During the next 2 decades, he's made 53 films. He appeared in 53 films. Reagan's acting career was a springboard to a political career. He served for 7 terms as the president of the Screen Actors Guild. He served during the tumultuous times of the government's investigation of communism in Hollywood. He continued to hone his great communicator skills as he later went to work as host of the TV show General Electric Theater, which also required him to tour the GE plants across the nation, and he gave up to 14 speeches a day, all of which he wrote himself. His political career stems from his solid conservative beliefs and through his work. During speeches for GE, he would often speak about political issues and pro-business conservative aspects. However, Reagan was first a Democrat before shifting to the more conservative approach of the Republican Party with limited federal government involvement in business. Reagan's big splash in politics came as he was delivering a speech in 1964 in support of Barry Goldwater's presidential bid. The rousing speech that Reagan gave spurred California Republicans to urge him to run for governor, which he did, and he won. As governor of California, Reagan's conservative platform was solidified. He was faced with issues such as abortion, welfare, or punishment during his 2 terms as governor, but it strengthened Reagan's pro-life and pro-capital punishment stances that would be the basis of his presidential candidacy. Reagan's presidency itself was marked with historical moments. However, in '76, in his initial bid for president, he was defeated in the primaries by Gerald R. Ford, who eventually lost to Jimmy Carter. But in 1980, with the economy in shambles and the Iran hostage crisis in the forefront of the news, Reagan won by a landslide. His presidency was known for great economic growth, the end of communism in Europe, and of course the rise in American patriotism. Reagan died of pneumonia, a complication from his Alzheimer's, on June 5, 2004. In conclusion, for all the success that Ronald Reagan achieved in his life, he never lost the ability nor the desire to be a loving father, a grandfather, devoted husband, and faithful Christian. His son Michael at Ronald Reagan's funeral describes it best. As the Washington Post reported, and I quote, "Last Saturday when my father opened his eyes for the last time and visualized Nancy and gave her such a wonderful, wonderful gift. When he closed his eyes, that's when I realized the gift that he gave to me, the gift that he was going to be with his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He had, back in 1988, on a flight from Washington, D.C. to Point Mugu, told me about his love of God, his love of Christ as his Savior. I didn't know then what it all meant, but I certainly know now. Ronald Reagan may have passed away, but his legacy will remain with us for many years.